Let us continue with our lesson, and before we move and configure some of the other changes, let's go and check the git status first. So I've just checked git status and we have modified some of the file over here, controller and also the route. So what I will do is I will just add a git. So it should be a git and add dot, so that should add everything, all the changes to our local git repositories. And the next step is to check the status. So everything is added. If you see it's in green color, so the next step is to commit. So I can say git commit commit and that's m, and we need to give some message. So message is that added we can say auth controller and also function register functl register function and and also a register route. So we have added controller, register function, and a register route. So make sure you give some meaningful commit message over here, so it will be easy for you to remember, or if you want to go back or change some of the file, then you can easily find out what are the things that you have added or changed. So just commit it, and now we can push it. So just go to the VCS over here, version control git, and push that one. So we need to push that add controller, auth controller, and register function and register route. Just push that one. So that should push everything to our GitHub repositories. And if you want to check, you can just go over to GitHub over here and just go to the to do, and we should go to the branch over here in the date. And if you go to the pull request, and if you compare our new pull request, you should see that we have some of the commit element: install and configure password, added the auth controller, registration form. So all of this is already pushed to our GitHub over here. We just need to merge it to the master. So that it should be later. And let's go back to our project and let's get started again. And what I will do is, for today we'll be creating another function for our register. So let's create one more function. Just copy all of this. We'll be using the same. Just copy and below over here paste it, and instead of register we'll say as a login, and we will be validating the email, and we will not validate a name, sorry, we will validate the email and password. So email is required, and we just have to remove the unique from here. We will require an email and it's required, and password need to be required. So we don't need a confirm password over here when login. So you just can just log in with your password and it's required. And next step is just remove this one, and let us create a one variable of login detail, and login detail is equals to, I will just say as a request, and inside request, sorry, not this request, inside this request I will have to pass the array of the request. What is inside this request is an email. So I will just pass the email and a password for here, sorry, email, and also a password, PSSWRD password. So login detail will contain the request of email and a password, and we need to log in it. So let's check it. So this will, let's check it first. So let's say if, and let's say not, if not, and we say auth, and auth is ATTEMPT attempt. So auth attempt and the login detail. just copy this and paste it over here. And let's add the class. This class, we need to import the class, auth class, and if you check, it has been imported for us. And after we check that, if the auth, we try to log in using the login detail that we have created over here. And after we try to log in, it's check that if not successful, then we need to response the message. So response message, just copy this response and paste it over here. And with the response, we will pass some error message. So the error message should be of let's say error, and what error we want to pass it. Okay, so error message should be inside the array. So we need to create an array of, okay, an error. Okay, so let me just arrange it properly. Error message, we need to pass something like let's say unauthorized or login was unsuccessful, or you can give any message over here. I'll just say check as a login failed failed, and we can just say as a please check your login detail. And once we have a login error message, we can just give a status code. So status code, let's give a 401, and that should be fine. So if the login was not successful, then we will be returning this error message, right? So if the login was not successful, then we will return this error message. And next step is to create a, let's go and create a one variable of a user is we'll get from a request of a user, and we have a request from user, and this variable will hold a user detail. And next step is to generate a token. So how do we generate a token is, let's say our token, let's say result token result is, let's make use of this user variable, and from here we can, using this user, we can just directly create a create create a token of a access token. So just give a token name as a ACCE access TOKEN access token, and this will create a access token for us. And once we have created an access token, this variable hold the data. So I'll just create another variable of token, and this token we will get a token from here. So this will hold a token data, and I will just get a token from here. And once we have a token, then we will make use of this token. So just make use of this token, and we will save the data token, and we'll just save it. So that will save the record to our database. And now we can send a response. After we have successfully created and saved the token in our DB, we will return the result back to the user. So what we will return back to user is an array. Inside the array, we will pass some of the access tokens. So let's say a column we are passing as a CCE access token. First, we are passing access TOKEN access token, and that the column we are passing is let's say from our token result. This has an access token, so I'll just say token result is of a access token. And we also need to pass of our token ID, token underscore ID, and this token ID is hold from, just copy and paste it over here. This token ID we will get from this one. So after we save a record, this token will hold a record ID of the database that it has been inserted. So we need to get a token and the ID of the database field that it's inserted. So we get a token ID, and we have to pass a user ID, email name, and email. So what I will do is we have to pass another user ID. So user ID we will get where we can get is we can get from this user. So since this user hold the user detail, and from here I will just get a ID of a user, and I also need to pass a name. So I need to pass a comma over here, and we have to pass a name of also it will also get from the user data, and from here I need to pass a name, and let's also send out the email of the user, and in the response we are sending all of this data, and we need to send an email. So we will send all of this, and let's say 200 is a success, and we have created a functionality to login. We are validating over here and logging login the user. If login is not successful, then we will send some error message, and if login is successful, then we get the user detail over here, and we create a token and insert it to the database, right? So we save all the token generated for that user to database, and we send the response back to the user. So login function is ready, and the next step is to create a route. So the login route we need to create, just copy this. Below here I will just say as a post same and login, change the register to Logia and login, and inside the auth controller we have a function to login. Just copy this and paste it over here. So that's it. So our route API route for login and register is ready, and also a controller is ready to handle a login, register, and login. So that's all for this lesson, and I think before we end this lesson, let us do the same thing, and let us check the Git status. And what we'll do is we will add all of this Git, and I say add dot, so add everything to the local repositories, and let's create a commit message. So what I will do is we have added is a login function, so login login function, and a login route. So just remove this one and login route. So just enter, and now we can go to the version control Git, and we'll push that one, added login function and login route. Just push it. So that's it, and we have successfully configured. And the next step is we'll be testing out the login and registration using some test tool to test our API. So let's meet up in the next lecture. Till then, have a great day.